What's up YouTube? Gentry 101 back with another video, and in case you're wondering, no, I did not purchase a E92 M3. No, instead I'm going to be working on this vehicle and replacing the evaporator and doing some maintenance items on that. So stay tuned for this DIY evaporator replacement on the E92 M3. So one of the first things that we need to do to replace this evaporator is, make sure that you have all your Freon taken out of the system. You don't want to be venting that out into the atmosphere, killing penguins and things of that nature. I'm pretty sure it's, not the best thing for you to inhale either, with that being said. So this has already been taken into a shop, and they have evacuated the, what little Freon was left, and they also noted down how much oil came out during that evacuation, so that way after replacement we can make sure we put that same amount of oil back in, and just repeat the process. After we get it done, we'll do an evacuate on it. We'll pull a vacuum, hold a vacuum for 30 minutes to 45 minutes, make sure that there's no leak, and then recharge it and go from there. After you get the Freon evacuated safely from the system and properly stored, you're going to have to remove all of this cowling here, as well as the airbox and the intake manifold. The intake manifold is very easy to get to if you have like one of those flexible, extensions. And what it'll do is you'll go on to each one of the hose clamps to each individual throttle body, and then our airboxes are really just held on by 10s, T20s. I believe these are T20s up here as well, and that will lift out of there. Make sure we get this air hose going off to the pump and get the intake manifold off. And the reason for that is back behind all of this, there's going to be a bolt that we'll have to take off that you'll see later on in this multi-part video when we go to pull the dash. Enjoy, have fun. There's probably going to be all kinds of crazy, not matching, mix-matched editing clipped into all of this, because who knows how long or how many videos. Who knows how many videos this is going to be. There's going to be a whole lot of time-lapse. Anyway, enjoy. So here's our expansion valve. So obviously we had to get the intake manifold off to be able to get to this. Kind of forgot about this because it's been so stinking long since I've done it. Probably need a light so that way you can see better what I can see and translate that onto camera. These are coolant lines which go into the heater core, which is, well, underneath the dashboard and part of that whole box. So if you remember earlier, I had said that we're going to have to get all of this off, and that's because behind that cover right there, there is one stinking bolt. So if you ever have to do this, just so you know, on as far as I know, pretty much any BMW, but definitely on any E9x chassis, and I've done one on a 1 Series, and it has that same thing. So if you guys are ever working on a E90 or E82, be aware you're gonna have to remove some stuff to get to just that one bolt. Have you guys seen my really cool shirt that I've designed? I have them on Teespring. You should check out my Teespring store, Gentry 101. This is the first revision of the Gentry 101 Turbo. It is a Gentry size turbo, and it is an AR 101. It's late. It's been a very long week. 2 weeks. Anyway, so we're inside the vehicle now, and we're going to get all of this stuff out of the way. All of it. All of it. All of it. Steering wheel, radio, IHKA, if I think that's what that's, I forgot what that's called. Anyway, your radio and your fan controls. Definitely gonna have to, why is Spotify still on? Definitely gonna have to drop all this stuff so I can get all this stuff and some stuff and some stuff and some junk. I'm just playing around. I'm obviously going to be going through explaining what it is that I'm going to be doing in a video that I may or may not have already created and uploaded, where I was potentially or was not making carbon fiber parts for our 135. I managed to lose the suction cup attachment for the GoPro. This is going to be interesting, trying to figure out how to mount this while going through. So if you're in a manual transmission, the first thing that I would recommend doing is, at your own risk, pop this off. I haven't ripped one of these off in so stinking long I don't remember. I do know that this cover comes off and that there's a screw under here, but I don't know if I can just lift up here. Totally forgot. I'll play around with that. Obviously not going to break anything. This is gonna have to come off because there's a screw in here, and it's been a while too since I've worked on an E92. With the E90s, this thing doesn't go the whole way back, but like majority of the time, I mean, if there's no screws anywhere, they typically just kind of lift off. So I am gonna go ahead and drop this just so this panel's out of the way on either side. We'll have to try and figure out again how to set up this camera where it's not bouncing around, falling over. Bear with me. You see how easy it was to take a glove box out of an E90? No, it's really not that hard. You do have to remove the cup holders. You just pop these out and it is held in by 4 Phillips. And then there's an array of T20s holding all of those in. So we are slowly onto our way of getting this dash out. I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull this stuff up first and somewhat work my way down. Again, it's been a long time. I guess I could just download e-manuals, which is something that I would highly recommend. And when I was doing my M156 or my AMG cylinder head and cam work, that was, you know, one of the first things I did. So downloaded e-manuals. I'm not sponsored by them by any means whatsoever, but it is a big, huge help. I mean, you can do it in like a PDF form. They can send you a disc, and you can download it onto a USB drive and just pull it up either on your phone or, you know, on your laptop, and have pretty much every repair manual that you need for your vehicle. Anyway, I'm not going to ramble on because this is going to turn into a long, big, long, multi-part video if I do. I'm just going to keep working on that, and I'm still rambling on. Kind of forgot I wasn't recording. So this piece sat on top of where this was, and it just lifts off. And then there's going to be 2 10mm here, and there are 4 T20s that, you know, we're just going to have to imagine there was one right here, and then here and here, and then you can lift this whole piece off and get all of that out of the way and take pictures and take notes of where all your connectors and everything were, so that way it all goes back together. Now we're going to continue to move on to the center console and find our bolts, because I don't remember where they're at, and get this thing moved out of the way. So quick little recap. We're doing an evaporator on this E92 M3 because it stinks like nasty Freon and mildew and all kinds of other fun nasty stuff. Airbags really are not something to be taken lightly, so I really didn't want to show it or kind of explain what it is that we're supposed to do to get these off, because you can injure yourself real easily. But I guess just for, hey, at your own risk type of thing, disconnect the negative battery cable, and you're going to see these, which obviously you won't be able to see with the airbag unit actually in there, but on the steering wheel there's going to be these little preset slits that you would have never noticed until somebody pointed them out to you that they exist. And you can stick a T30, T40, a screwdriver, but you just want to stick those literally straight in, and you'll feel a little bit of resistance, and just kind of gently poke it and start wiggling the airbag, again with the battery disconnected. And again, I am not responsible if you do not do that and it goes off and, you know, ejects a screwdriver into your forehead. But same thing, do the same thing with both sides, and it's a 16mm to release this. Now these are keyed, but can be put on really in any way. On the steering wheel there's a little tiny slot that says, hey, line me up here, and also on the steering column itself. I'm going to get these T25s, I believe is what these are. Pretty much everything has been a 10mm, a Phillips head, or a T20 up until this point as far as the interior is concerned. And then of course, you know, the 16 for here. So yeah, I'm gonna get a T25, get this taken off for our clock spring, get our harness undone, all of this wiggled. I'm gonna wiggle all this off, and I might call it a night because it's 11 o'clock and it's been very long past couple weeks. So I am probably gonna call this video quits. Thank you everybody for watching.